I want the kids to learn thanks to our teachers, not in spite of them. Because
say that again.
I want students to be learning and receiving good grades, because I think grades are important, thanks to the great teachers we have in the district and in the classroom, not in spite of them.
Gotcha.
Because I feel that there are teachers who, kids will still pass the test and will still get an A in their class, but it's not because the teacher was so amazing. It's just because the kid cared enough to work for a grade, but pretty much taught themselves all year long.
I gotcha.
We do still have those, and I don't have a perfect solution or an answer to that one. I mean, sometimes you hire the best people you can find.
Sure.
They're just not good enough in the big scheme of things. But I do feel like the quality of teachers is still an issue.
It's a big part of your
And that
thinking.
goes back to not just being a content knowledgeable person, but knowledgeable in how to build that relationship, which sometimes is not a skill you can learn, but you can if you want to.
So by quality of teacher, you do mean, yes, they need to know their content area.
And how to teach others that content, because you can know it but not be able to teach.
Right on.
But also how you can build a community of learners versus a classroom of where I teach for 40 minutes and then you turn in your test next week and it better be a good grade.
Okay.
So building a learning community is different than having a classroom.
And what is the distinction in your mind?
I think in the learning community you will have that relational piece.
Okay.
I mean, kids will feel safer asking you questions.
Gotcha.
Saying what if, not agreeing with you in a courteous and civil manner. You will be able to have discussions more so than reading a textbook.
Gotcha.
Those types of things.
I gotcha. Okay.
We have that trust build.
Sure.
Where you can tell me something and I can say, I don't get it. And not be afraid to be ridiculed or judged or just saying, look it up on Khan Academy at home.
I see. Gotcha. Let's do this. I'm going to make a statement, and we can complete, a couple of responses, and just get you to unpack them. Yeah, sort of like a statement. I'll give you a statement starter, and whatever comes to mind as a way to how you would complete that statement is great.
Let's do it.
So, education in Keller is best, or is at its best, when?
Gosh, I guess say it again.
Education in Keller is best, or works best, or is at its best, when?
Struggling a little bit.
That's okay.
Because I almost want to go back to when we'll let our best people lead the way. But there's a lot of ifs about it. Because, being a big district that we are, we have to have common grounds. But sometimes, because we are so big and we have so many rules and regulations, we do get a bit red tape-ish.
Okay.
Even when it comes to curriculum, maybe, to where sometimes amazing teachers and educators, principals, counselors feel like they're put in a box, and because they're also great professionals, they'll stay in it. But I think sometimes we'll lose some of the uniqueness and greatness. But I think we put the rules and regulations in place for people who are not all that great, because we have to tell them, well, that's a rule. So I think we put the rules in place for people who are not amazing, but will limit the amazing people from doing more amazing things.
I gotcha.
By having the boundaries.
Okay.
So I want to say when we have less rules and regulations, but that's not, there's a lot of ifs and buts about it.
No, I get you. Anything else as to how you would respond to that question? You could, another way to think about it is, when is it working well in Keller ISD? When is education working well? What are the factors that go into that? What are the things that work really well?
I love the outside factors.
Well, really, just any factor. Man, education works really well, or is at its best when these are the things going on.
When it's all about the kids, number one.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Everything from a lesson plan to the way building is run. Like, it has to be for the best of the kids. And it doesn't always mean the kids will love it. Because if you ask the kids, they would think a different thing's best for them. But I mean, we still focus on what's best for kids. Resources. Sometimes we just don't have the resources to do what we want to do.
Okay. So what is an example of, man, that's a decision we made because that's what is best for the kids here?
Well, as far as lesson design goes, when I see kids, the time when I see kids engaged the most is when we don't have a textbook in front of them.
I see.
Or when they're not sitting at their desk necessarily. Not 100% of the time, but like I have seen amazing history lessons, amazing science units here in this building.
Okay.
That had to do with kids having fun in a productive, content-centered way. So that's what I mean by the kids.
Okay. What do you mean by resources?
Resources, well, a simple example, again, not that I have an answer. Let's say we need to buy something for a science experiment. By nature, all people tend to procrastinate and maybe wait till the last minute to go buy supplies for the experiment. Maybe you need flour, food coloring, and whatever else. To put the PO in, to get it approved, to turn it around. You always have to lesson plan 3-4 weeks ahead, and that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So sometimes teachers will just go buy the stuff they need themselves and make it happen anyways.
Okay.
However, other times they will just say, I can't afford to do that. And they will just go back to the textbook and journal. Because they're like, well, I have this great idea, but I just don't have the money to do it. Nor can my principal turn it around super quickly. And it is what it is.
I gotcha.
You have to follow the rules and do the POs and do their approval. But that could be it. Or I just had a conference with a teacher on the flip side who said she does an engineering class.
Okay.
And she still has the kids from last year that are perfectly functional, but through wear and tear, there are a few little pieces that are missing.
Okay.
So she wanted to buy the spare parts. Well, when she went to build her purchase order, she was told that she cannot buy spare parts. She just has to buy entire new units, which she'll do. It will cost 10 times more.
Yeah.
But now she has these other kids who are almost wasteful.
Yeah.
So we have like these two extremes.
Wow.
And she says, well, they did not give me permission to just buy the spare parts.
Sure.
They want me to buy an entire set. And she said, I'll do it. But what do I do with this? You can't throw it away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we go from wasteful to not having enough.
Huh. Okay. What about if we flipped that and said, education in Keller doesn't work or is at its worst when? There's some key responses to that.
The rules and regulations or the one-size-fits-all answer. Like, how will we do interventions? Well, it depends. We have middle schools that are 5 through 8. We have middle schools that are 5, 6, one building, 7, 8, another building.
Okay.
We have middle schools that have one intervention teacher. We have middle schools that have 2, 3, 4, 5. So while a one-size-fits-all could be good when you start something new because you give people guidelines, sometimes we put ourselves on the box.
I see.
Like we have to have an advisory period in 7th and 8th grade for kids, which is like a study hall. That's when they do homework. If we have a guest speaker, like on suicide or whatever, they do it during that period. Well, occasionally those things happen. For the most of the time, it's just 40 minutes of time.